Way to
But
go,
you guys
David.
were talking about Zoomtopia.
Yeah.
We were. We were.
Well, at least I got to bed earlier than I had planned.
I wanted to come early and talk, but I was giving a presentation.
There's the comment. As Ruth said, I went to bed. And in my case, I purposely don't watch them. I don't watch them live. I don't want to be I don't want to be captured.
I did. I want to read the chat. That's why. Because I want to see how the audience is hearing that.
Well, and actually, you can report that to us.
I have notes.
Good. Good.
Into the settings, explore every single.
There's some stuff I like though too, so I don't want to be like negative Nelly all the time.
We'll show you how to host like a pro.
You're so nice, Tamra.
I know. the inability to put together an effective conference does not change the fact that Zoom is effective.
Correct.
I think for the size of organization and the role they play and the audience that they have, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, it's tough because they've got 4 different masters that they're serving at that, and that's a hard lift.
That was clear.
Yep.
That's why I said they were silos.
Yeah. There's a way to do it, but I don't envy them because it really is hard.
But Tamara, it's a little like cooking. You can't cook for everyone.
Right.
There's certain groups of tastes that you have to satisfy.
But then what you have to do is not be so specific in your keynote and then drive people to your tracks. Mm-hmm. You know, you are general and then you funnel down, right? You can't make your keynote be about everybody.
Can you elaborate on the 4 masters? I'm a little lost.
I think they had technical people, they had production people, they had like entrepreneurs, which they were really hard in on that solopreneur category, and then they had like businesses. So they really have all of these different actions that they're trying to serve, and that keynote like mentioned everybody, and you watch the chat and people were like, that's not me.
Yeah.
So that's what you have to do, your keynote wide, and then get everybody into those tracks. They had 3 tracks, and then they have people like us, you know, that we're that 4th, and then they also have their team, the executives. And so that's a whole other thing that you're trying. If you're playing to yourself, then that's a whole other area.
To be unkind, to extend Robert's metaphor, they should get out of the restaurant business.
I think you have to go with the user experience. Like, what are people going to experience from the second they log in to all the way through? And if you aren't thinking through that track, you're going to miss. And that's not just them, that's everybody, that's all of us, you know.
True. Very true.
And that's our show, folks. Everything you just heard pretty much covers everything. We'll see you next week. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the kitchen. Holy moly, do we have what to talk about this week? I was feeling a little bored last week, but then Zoomtopia came around and a huge release on top of that to the Zoom app. Even before Zoomtopia, it was this huge release with some really great news for people who use original audio or different audio profiles. Just lots and lots of stuff. So real quick, we'll just make the round, say hello real quick, and then we'll start with Zoomtopia, I think, and then get into Zoom itself. So I always start with Tamara on Thursdays. I'm going to start with Robert today. Hey, Robert.
Hey, I was just
the past couple weeks.
Yeah, I've been busy, to be very honest with you, and
Busy is good.
Yeah, it's good. I'm not complaining. but I was really happy that I could just finish off today, come in, have a shower, and jump onto Zoom test kissing. It's just made my day. It's the icing on the cake. And then I was looking at you in the waiting room for a little while, David, and your avatar, and I thought, gosh, that avatar has real good eye contact.
Oh my God, how funny! Now, are you in the Ivy now, like you were last time, or are you back on your regular setup?
I'm on my regular set at the moment, only because Ivy's sitting here at the back, only because I've just been muddling things around so much.
Fantastic. All right. Speaking of Ivy, hello, Mr. Franklin.
Hi. I knew this was going to be flashback Friday because the logo didn't change.
Well, right. You're right. I thought about that. The title changed. I changed the words, but I didn't change the logo. And I wasn't sure if people would actually notice that. But yes, you're absolutely right. Tony Mobley, how you doing, sir?
I am great. Happy to be here.
Good to see you.
Long time no see.
Long time no see. I've missed you. I've also missed Tamara.
Hello.
Good to see you.
I knew I'd have to be here today.
Yeah, we have what to talk about. Jason, how you doing, sir?
Hey, good to see everyone.
Good to see you too. You doing well?
Doing well, thank you. An actual dry day here in Florida.
Yeah, you're right. It's for the first time in a long time.
Long time. Yeah. I was thinking of building an ark, so I get a day off today.
Nice. Hey, Lois, how are you?
Well, I'm doing well, and we might possibly have a sprinkle of rain today. It's been dry for months, so.
Oh my goodness,
we'll trade you, Jason. I'll give you.
Yeah, we'll trade exactly.
Just a little sprinkle.
Yeah,
you're off mic, Lois.
So, let's see who else is here. I see Dan is here in the background. Oh, Hasmuk, where are you, Hasmuk? There you are. How you doing, Hasmuk?
What do I have to do to be
you don't have
first
to do
in
anything.
line? Okay?
It's all about Hasmuk. Let's just be clear. It's all about Hasmuk.
So your opening remarks sounded like no comment.
About what?
Based on our opening discussion.
Oh no, I have comments.
I think Robert and Ray get it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all are probably going to feel similarly. We've talked about it, but it's not a surprise. But first, I just want to say I'm so happy to have Dan here, and John Idelson is listening, and Susan is here. If you do want to come on, turn your cameras on. We'd love to say hello to you in person. So let's do the review. So this past week, on Wednesday was Zoomtopia. We of course had the keynote, which was they told us right from the get-go, it was 2 or 3 hours, 2 hours, I think.
2 hours.
Right? Yeah, they said, for the next 2 hours. And then of course, all of the different sessions. I watched some of the keynote live, the rest of it on my drive home. And I also got into a couple of the sessions that I watched.
You watched it on your drive home? Explain that, David.
We need more information.
I listened to it on my drive home. And I watched it at stop signs. I'll start. And I said this in the Discord, so none of this is, proprietary information here. I heard nothing about Zoom for the first hour and 15 minutes. Like that was kind of my biggest frustration that we heard about basketball and I guess lots of other things, but no announcements about.
It was an hour and 18 minutes in. I actually have the exact time on my notes.
Yeah, and that really frustrated me. If you don't capture someone in the first 3 minutes, that's why I didn't watch the whole thing live, because frankly I got bored. And then unfortunately I felt like the announcements were I don't want to say they weren't exciting, because I think for some people they probably were. They just didn't tinkle my bell. They were very focused, I think, on small and medium-sized businesses, and a lot of the business tools that they've been building out, and of course they spent a lot of time on the AI. You know, I don't know. I was underwhelmed. Sorry. Last thing I'll say. The other big takeaway I have is that they used very few. It looked like they used no Zoom tools, like for the entire kit. Like no one came in on Zoom. There were tiles for about 10 seconds. I saw tiles behind him, but other than that, I mean, no one came in digitally.
I don't have a problem with the fact that people didn't come in digitally. I have a problem with the fact that this was a digital only event, except for the few people that they had there. And it was not designed as a digital only event. I don't need you to come in on Zoom. What I need you to understand is I'm coming in on Zoom. So what's presented to me in my Zoom box has to be very, very tailored. And that's what was weird to me, because this is a company who has the tools and who has the talent to do this kind of work. And instead, what they did was show us a big event that was a staged event that you would do live. And I'm like, but you're the guys who have this. So I have a very practical thing, which I did bring in the Discord, is they had at one point a slide of their 4 things, and it was literally a split screen, and you couldn't read it from Zoom. But they have the tools with Zoom Production Studios to literally highlight my experience in the webinar so that I see that and then pull back to your big screen. And so that was the thing for me, is that they didn't design this production like it was for an audience in Zoom. I didn't care if they came in Zoom.
I'll give you another. Well, the reason I say I wish they'd come in on Zoom is because I like it when people show us the best ways to use their tools. You know, that, in fact, I said on somewhere, I was in on Tuesday, I had eCamp for Educators, another program I run, and one of the things I said to them, I said, you know, Zoomtopia is coming up, and I'm really excited. And the reason I'm really excited is because we're going to get to see in production the stuff that we're going to get to play with in 6 to 9 months. And I didn't see that. I didn't see any of that. A silly example of that person, by the way, in the waiting room, you can let them in. I know who that is. Sorry. When he took the shot, the basketball shot, the camera view was from behind the basket, so we didn't actually see the basket go in. Right. And that drove me a little crazy.
Did you notice that the script was off? He didn't introduce the guy until after the whole thing was over. Nobody knew who it was. There was no lower third.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I knew we were in trouble because when you build a 60-foot stage with giant screen, and you have to, I always answer this question, which do we pander to, the hybrid audience, the live audience, or the remote audience? And I say it's based, the production and the dollars need to be spent based on the preponderance of the audience. Well, this was a digital first event. Yeah. They did not need a 60-foot, that was a very expensive setup. Yeah. And days of rehearsal on that stage. Yeah. And it was just, the teleprompter was off center. It was not an event produced for Zoom.
Yeah, as Taylor said. Yeah, Jason, go ahead.
I did notice more of the tools used in the breakout. Total different experience versus the main room. So I saw Zoom Graphics, Zoom Production Studio, some of those things definitely in the breakout. The Play Nicely with Microsoft Office and Microsoft Teams, Zoom AI being able to talk across all those products, all of that was highlighted in the breakout. The stage, was that a temporary stage? Because I get the idea that's like they've built that permanently into their corporate office.
It would require a huge studio for that.
I mean, it looked like they only had 14 people in the audience.
It did look that way.
Well, they all had their appropriate things. Having a sycophant audience is apparent almost immediately in an event like this.
And it certainly showed up.
And those of us watching remotely.
Well, and to play to that audience. to play
Right.
to that audience. That's the
Right.
part that is so hard. The thing is, they have a really difficult task in something like Zoom, because Zoom is being used by everyone, and the people in that audience, like, I'm fascinated because I'm a theater producer, so I really care about audience experience. And so I was fascinated to look at the chat as I was in there. I also had excellent experiences inside the breakout sessions. So and the thing that, and I've spent 2 hours like playing on new Zoom and trying to figure things out. This is such a powerful tool, and to have a keynote presentation that doesn't tell you how great the tool is also part of the other problem. When you are presenting something, you are presenting the story of your project. And at the end of the year in 2025, we are past telling us how important AI is. The story there has to be, here is how AI is being used in our ecosphere. I don't need to convince you of it. But the truth is, we got two different kinds of AI people who like it and people who don't like it. So what you really have to do is show me more of how people are using it. And what they chose to do is show us who is using their services, but not how they're using their services. And I need to see the how in that meeting. I don't need to see who. Just give me a list of who.
The education conversation that you just really nailed the nail on the head. I mean, they sat down and they talked about how show us.
Yeah. And they
Show us
didn't
how
talk
Zoom-
about how they're using it. They talked about who is using it.
Right.
You know
right.
what? Just put that list on your website.
Yeah.
Here's the list of people using Zoom. It's everyone.
That's
Now
so
show us
important.
how is an entrepreneur using it? How is but literally show it, like, open it up on screen and be like, here's what we do. Because once you got into that in the one-on-one, like in the smaller groups, you were like, oh, now I can kind of see, now I can start asking good questions about myself. But it's still, Zoom is such a heavy lift. There are so many great things there, but like, I sat down with it for 2 hours last night and I didn't get very far. And I'm like, it has got so many things. It's like a spaceship, but we don't know how to use it because they're not giving us those tools. And you have to be really curious to want to play.
Can I interrupt our conversation for just a moment? Because Deborah is here, and I happen to know Deborah, Devora, and she has, I told her to come because I could not figure out the answer to her question. She has a question for us. So if it's okay, I'm going to interrupt because she doesn't care about Zoomtopia. I'm going to interrupt our conversation to get her question, and then we can go back to griping and complaining. Go ahead, Devora.
Okay, so whoops, what happened? My question is this. Oh, this is called a shofar. It's a ram's horn, and it's used in the Jewish community on Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year, which is coming up starting Monday night. And we blow this several times in different sequences. And no one can hear me. They hear me for like the first 5-10 seconds, and then it disappears.
Yep.
So
Indeed.
I did try various different things. At David's suggestion, I use a PC. I completely removed the app and I put it back on, and it updated by 0.3, I guess 3 editions. And I played with it.
Devora, let me just interrupt. Everyone who's saying original sound, stop saying original sound.
Nope.
Every one of you. If you think I didn't say that, the first thing, Muddy, you're fired. Like, of course.
Wait, and the thing
sound.
I want to say is original sound. And also, when I had the new system, I turned on the audio sound so I could watch myself as I was trying it. And I did it last night, actually. It seems like a year ago, but it was last night. And I tried all these different settings. And finally, I figured out how to make it work. And the green stayed on for these 7, 20 or 20 or 30 seconds where I was making the sound. And this morning it's gone. So I don't know, I see, Jason, you have something you want to say. I can demonstrate
Jason,
what
go
I'm
ahead.
doing.
Jason, Robert, go ahead.
Okay, so let's just go through the many things that you have to check. And I would recommend write these down, because if any of the pieces of software update, you have to go back and check them again. And 3 months from now, you're going to forget where was that setting. So let's first start with the...
3 minutes from now. So wait, I'll write it down.
Oh, okay, okay. So we're going to start with the largest offender first. Okay, Windows. Are you on Windows 11?
Yes.
Okay. And if you haven't gotten it yet, coming soon to a desktop near you, release 24H2. In 24H2, there is something called Focus Audio. Okay, and what it does is it's basically a gate and a noise suppression. This is totally independent of anything that Zoom does, although it does compete with Zoom. So that's the first place that you have to check. Focus Audio. Turn it off.
Can you tell me how to do that? I have no idea.
Okay. You can Google it, but basically in the taskbar where your speaker icon is, you're going to go into your sound settings, and it is under, let me find.
Wait a minute. If I'm Googling something, I'm not in Zoom anymore, right?
No, we're talking your Windows, where this is in Windows. Okay, but as part of your sound settings, you right click on your speaker icon, you go to sound settings, and let me, where is it?
Are you saying, wait,
I'm not in her current operating system, right? It's in the new one.
No, it's the one that she's
you want me to
on.
go to Windows, right? You want me to go to Windows, not
you're on a
come out
Windows
Zoom?
machine?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So if you're on your Windows machine, and this is the machine that you use in your Zoom productions?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
right click on the speaker icon in the Windows taskbar, bottom right hand corner next to the clock, or in the center if that's where you have yours set up.
Is it? Microphone in use by Zoom. Is that the microphone? Okay.
Yeah,
So
scroll down through your settings, and I'm trying to find where they've buried it. Give me a minute, because I don't have my little checklist in front of me.
I have two options. It says microphone settings or location privacy settings.
It's under the microphone settings.
Okay.
Okay, and it is called, in my version, it's called audio enhancements, and it's a submenu within there. And you uncheck and you turn off all those enhancements in the Windows operating system. Now, assuming that that's done within Windows.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. So audio, where am I looking for that?
You're in the microphone settings.
Microphone, yes.
Yeah.
And then I have something called microphone access, and then it says which apps can use my microphone. And
that's the old Windows, not the new one, right? Jason?
I don't.
No, Lois, we're talking if you got the 24H2.
She doesn't.
Patch, because that's where they threw on focus mode.
Does she have that? I didn't hear her say she had that. Sorry.
It says Windows Update. It says you're up to date until today.
Okay, then yes, you've got it. Okay. So now where were we? I'm sorry, Deborah.
I don't know where to find the thing that you're telling me to. You told me to turn some things off, I think. Microphone access is on.
Yeah, and what we'll do, so I don't kill the flow of the show, is you're going to be looking under your, it's part of the audio settings, your microphone properties, and it's called focus mode. And like I say, you can search out on the web, and it'll give you pictures and show you exactly how to get down to there.
Okay.
Okay.
So bottom line, this is a Windows thing, not a...
That's the largest offender. That's not the only offender, but if you're on a Windows machine, that is the first place to look.
Gotcha.
Because once you start...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Once you start checking around in Zoom will conflict with the Windows audio drivers, and you will chase your tail around 100 times in circles and not realize that Windows is the offender. So that is the first place to start.
Okay. Isn't it just maybe simpler to use the Windows key and I to get the search bar into and type in settings and go directly to the settings and look for focus?
Okay, I can give that a try. Because there's a focus mode. Sometimes Windows thinks you're talking about your, what do they call it? Do not disturb. So that's...
I don't see any of those.
Sometimes they have a sloppy terminology. Anyway, let's fast forward to Zoom, since it's a Zoom test kitchen.
Okay.
When you are using the instrument, number one, you have to do it from a machine where you're logged in as a host for the meeting. Okay. In other words, let's take David as an example. Okay. David's got multiple accounts. Okay. So David 1 is the host, the creator, the owner of the meeting number and ID. David 2 shows up on his other machine and plays an instrument. Because he is not logged in as the host, there's software limiting on the Zoom servers that kicks in and prevents that from happening. Even if you turn on original sound, trust me, because the way that I used to do productions is I had a host machine where that machine, all it did was make sure that it kept the room open, launch breakouts, let people in, throw people out. Machine 2 was the sharing machine. Audio, video, PowerPoints, whatever else. Machine 3 was the recording machine. I ran into that problem, whatever update it was, and I was like, what the heck is going on? No, come to find out, I need to now move all my media on through the hosting, the machine that is logged in with a host account, the creator, the owner of the meeting, or a webinar if you're using a webinar. Now, assuming you've done that, that was number 2. Number 3 is now you're going into your audio settings. Do you have original sound turned on? There is a live, what do they call it? Live performance audio. Let me look at it based off of this, this version. Live performance audio, okay? What live performance audio does is it minimizes to the greatest extent possible all delays. However, what it also does is echo. Okay, live performance audio strips out all delays as much as possible, all noise cancellation, and you get this. Okay, second best is original sound for musicians, and then turn on high fidelity mode.
Hold on, stop for a second. I didn't see what you did. You said live performance audio. That should be off.
No, don't do live performance audio. Stick with original sound.
Okay, I've tried it. It didn't work.
Stick with
right when you use it. And I can't remember if it's officially out of beta yet with live performance audio, but the advantage is, and we saw this on one of the Zoom kitchens, when you have multiple performers in different locations, is it minimizes the delay, the lag time between them. So if you were doing a choir or something like that, theoretically live performance audio would be beautiful, but it introduces echo when in this particular situation. So the next best thing is original sound for musicians. Turn it on. High fidelity music mode, turn it on. Stereo audio, turn it on, and you can play with the echo cancellation and you know, flavor it to taste if that works well for you or not. Now, assuming that you've done that, now you actually have to go up to the upper right-hand corner of the Zoom meeting, and you might see an original sound for musicians status. Okay, it's off. So when you click on it, that turns it on. And providing all those settings that we just went through upstream are in check, now we should be able to hear you blow the horn. Hit it.
Okay, well, the only thing I haven't done is the Windows part, but I can try this.
All right.
But she's not the host.
I'm
Is she?
not the host, but I'll try anyway. See.
Yep, it cut out. Yep. So there's noise cancellation on, and I'm thinking it's because you're coming in as a participant.
I've never heard the host thing before. Robert, is that something you've heard?
No, I haven't heard it, but I've never used the live performance, so I don't know about that.
No, we're talking about even on original sound, he said. By the way, we're still getting, Jason, are you still in live performance? Because we're still getting an echo.
Let me check.
Sorry, go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, I was just, no, I haven't heard it before, David, but I wanted to ask Deborah, what mic are you using?
I have two options. I have a webcam, or I have my laptop. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Sorry, I'm getting interrupted. Or I have a laptop in the built-in microphone. So
And
wait a
which
minute,
one?
I can switch to the webcam one right now because that's on. Try that. Let me just check that this is still. Boy, it turns original sound off so quickly for some reason.
No, we can't hear anything. No, we can't hear anything.
It won't even hear me clapping.
Yeah, because you need to turn the original sound on, otherwise you'll have all the noise suppression on.
I have original sound on, and I switched to my web camera, so now I'll change back to my computer. I used my webcam microphone. I'm gonna change back to the computer one.
I think this is a win. There's something on your computer. This is a Windows thing, because I have the same exact instrument, and I blew it with Devora in our meeting yesterday, and she could hear it fine. No issue.
It's a noise suppression thing for sure.
Dave, you're the host in the meeting?
Yes, sir.
Oh, there, that worked better.
We heard that.
It's better.
Yeah, but it cut out. It still cut out.
Well, hold on.
Let me pass, Devora, I'm going to pass host to you.
And then at the second time, it just stops. It won't even go a second time.
Devora, I'm going to pass host to you, and then you'll just need to make sure you pass it back to me, okay?
Okay, I promised.
Okay. All right, you are now host. Now let's try it. Nothing.
It's one speaker or microphone. Let me try the other one.
Is original sound still on, or did it shut itself off?
Oh, you're right. Let me check. Now it's off again. Okay, let me turn it on. Why does it keep turning off?
We can hear it.
Yeah, it cut out though.
But it cut out, right?
Yeah.
And then here's the other one.
Yeah, there's something on your computer. There's some noise suppression on your computer. Yeah.
Not good at all.
All right. So my suggestion is to first pass host back to me, and then
I'm just looking for it right now.
Yeah, in the participants panel.
Yeah, I know.
And then I would follow Jason's advice and look for any mic or noise suppression that's on your machine. It has nothing to do with Zoom. That's just on your machine that you made to turn off. There are a few. There are some weird. We have that on the Mac with like the background blur. Sometimes the background blur from Mac just kind of seeps in and takes over your Zoom. But so that's what.
Okay. I know how I can do this. I have hold on. I'm going to make you the host first before I speak. Yes. Okay.
And I dropped some additional documentation in the chat. One on how to go down and get focus mode off in Windows. The second one on the known issue regarding sound ducking unless you're in the host account to the trouble ticket, and it's marked as solved as long as you come in as a host.
Wow. Okay.
And the other possibility is, can you record it and then play the sound while you mime the actual thing? Hey, I'm into those kind of fixes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know. What do you think, David? It's kind of a
No.
no.
You know something?
No,
when I just listen
kind of a live thing, it has to be.
I'm listening to Deborah speak, and I can hear noise suppression as she speaks. The end of her words are cut off. It's an unnatural sound. Can you just go back into your sound audio settings? Sorry, for Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've got the Zoom background noise removal switched on, can you just put it to low, very faint background noises and not leave it on auto for a second?
Okay. Okay, too low.
Okay, and just say a couple of words, please.
Oh, okay. Does this sound better? Because I'm talking. I'm seeing that it's moving, but it also goes into the red. The microphone goes into the red. I'm using my computer microphone. And
yeah, just carry on. Just blow the horn now, please.
Okay.
It cuts off at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we'll leave it with Jason's suggestion of the Windows solution. Can't think of anything else.
Start with Windows. That is the biggest offender. I've been here. You end up tracing your tail around in Zoom, and it gets better, but it doesn't solve it, and then it gets back worse, and it's because Windows keeps conflicting.
Well, you could just buy a little old Mac that you only use when you're...
You only use it once a year, twice a year.
Well, I mean, they're so cheap to get a used computer these days, and you could get a Mac that you didn't use for anything else. Except on Zoom.
Or we could just find the answer in Windows somewhere.
That's true. Is there a Windows test kitchen that you know of?
Yeah, there needs to be one. Robert.
Well, if I go to Geek Squad, they should be able to help me.
No,
the Windows part, right?
I wouldn't count on that.
I put a link in the chat. If you click on it, it'll step you through it with pictures and everything.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, I just wanted to change subject if Deborah is.
Yeah, no, we're definitely going to go back. Thank you for coming in, Deborah. And we also need to get back to Zoomtopia and all the updates and stuff like that.
One last thing is to remember the word ducking. D-U-C-K-I-G. That's when you're looking for help, look for the word ducking.
Ducking? What does that mean?
Quite.
That's what's happening, is that the audio of one is ducking.
Okay.
All right.
I can see if my...
Robert, do you want to pick us up? Do you want to bring us back? What do you want to do with us?
I want to do something different before we get back to Zoomtopia, because you handed over the host, Deborah, and then you asked her to give it back. You should have had the option, David, of getting the host back by yourself. And I think that's something we should talk about over here, because it's evidently something you didn't know about.
But he's not the owner of the meeting, is he? And you're muted. You're muted, David.
Sorry.
Was that on purpose?
Host, and now it's right here. I'll show everyone. It's right in my... It's right in your participants panel. So here's the participants panel, and right at the bottom there, it says reclaim host. And I'm just a doofus, and I didn't press it. That's all.
Yeah, I thought it would be worthwhile just for all of us to bring that back onto the. Yep. Yeah. So That's all from me.
No, that's great. Thank you. That's yeah. I didn't even think about that. You're absolutely right.
Also, while we're on original sound, when you upgrade, you don't have to turn. It doesn't give you a two-person authentication. It's just always on. So, like in the group that I just presented to, I'm like, you have to check because unless you really mean it, like you have to know what you're doing on that.
So let me show that real quick. So this is one of the big updates in 6.6. So now this is the settings. If you go to your audio set, oh, you know what? Actually want to show it to you in the meeting. Sorry. Let me get out of that and I'll bring this over here. So in your, I have so much garbage on my screen. So you used to have to go to the back. Now, if you just go audio and you click on the little doohickey next to it, you now have microphone modes right here in your, you've got your mic list, your speaker list, and then you've got your microphone modes. So the default is noise removal. There's the personalized audio. It is interesting to me that they put that above original sound, but I don't know. And then original sound for musicians is right here. So once you, and this is persistent. So if you have this on original sound, the next time you open this meeting, next time you open a meeting, I think it's persistent. It's persistent in the app, not per meeting. I'm pretty sure. It'll just stay there, which is really nice. And then you can just click it. You can enable it in the in the meeting itself. So
I don't think you need to do a second step, is what I'm saying.
Oh no, you do. You definitely need to still turn it on.
No, try it because I just turned it on and then it's just on. There isn't a second step for it. That's what I think is new and different. Because I had to, I was playing with it with a group of actors because a singer would want it on, but we actually wouldn't want it on if you're doing an audition from your house, your little New York apartment with everybody being arrested on the streets and all of that noise. So I had to actually train them how to make sure that they were turning it off. And like if you click it on, it just has on, but I don't think it has the off from up there. Yeah. So click it on.
Yeah, hold on.
And then it shows up at the top and says it's on, but you can't do anything to turn it off. It's just on. So
what?
Yeah, that's the change. So you have to. So before you used to have to really want it.
Okay.
And now you have to really. I think that's why it's at the bottom because it is like once you put it on, it's on, and you may or may not want that all the time.
Yes. Okay. So there are two big changes. I completely missed this. Thank you.
I literally just taught this 20 minutes ago.
Thank you. So the first change is that now you don't need to go deep into your settings to find this. It's right here. You can choose this right here. The second thing is that now this up here, original sound for musicians, is not a button. It's just an indicator.
Yeah, it's just telling you that it's on.
Now, what's interesting about this is that they really moved this button basically down here, which I actually don't like because in what I do, I keep original sound for musicians on in the back end, but then I turn it off in meetings until I need it.
Right.
Because
so that
I like using Zoom's noise reduction until I need it.
So that's what our team does too, because like an actor, I tell them like it used to be like it was kind of like you had to want it because you had to turn it on. So that piece of it did change and that does, luckily it is easier to get to. So it is just like switching a microphone, but you're right. It's not a one click at the top. It's just an indicator to say that you're on. Which is great. Like if you're someone who likes it on all the time, fantastic. But if you are in a lot of situations that like my clients are in where they're going to audition or they're going to sing, so they have to have it on and then they're not going to sing. So they should not have it on. It's a little different, not necessarily bad, but just a little different.
And I posted in, we were sort of discussing some of this and I said, I don't remember where I said it, but something like, I really just want, it wasn't Zoomtopia, sorry. We saw this announcement and I said to Andy, I said, what I really want is a hotkey to toggle it on or off. And he said that he thinks that there might be one, but not. I didn't entirely understand. Let me see if it. Here we go. I believe there's an Apple shortcut for this already, which can be triggered by a keyboard shortcut. I wonder if that's an Apple Cuts in Zoom Cut, Zoom, not Zoom Cuts, Zoom. What's the other one called?
Shortcuts.
No,
Zoom Cuts was the one.
Zoom Cuts, was that the applet? The little
Yeah.
app? Zoom Cuts. Okay, sorry. I wonder if that's in Zoom Cuts. I have to download Zoom Cuts. Okay.
I don't hate it, but it really requires people to understand what they're doing. And it is super great for those of us who, like, if you have a microphone and you just keep it on all the time, it's great. But if you do what David and I do, which is kind of pick and choose, then it's not two steps, so people can make mistakes if they don't understand.
I do the same thing with original sound. When I play music, original sound on. When it's dialogue only, original sound off.
Exactly. That's what I do. So I liked actually having that little just toggle up at the top.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You can always go back to the previous version. I'm still on the old version. I haven't upgraded, and I can switch it on and off.
I do love having it that close, though. I mean, like, there's certain things that I really have enjoyed. Like, I like the idea of it. That's the one piece of it, though, that I'm like, oh,
yeah,
I like a little different there.
I do think it's a smart move to make it a one toggle thing, though. Like, you shouldn't have to work so hard to get it. Yeah. Lois, did you want to jump in?
Yes, and this is not on that question, but on the previous question. We know who's host and co-host because we can look at the participants list and it says who's host and co-host. How do I know who's the host, as in the owner of the meeting? How do I, as a participant, know Tamara owns this meeting?
Referring to it in the meeting.
Yeah, I'm sitting in the meeting. If I go up to that green shield, it says Zoom Test Kitchen's personal meeting room, but it doesn't. Is Zoom Test Kitchen a person? Is that what it's trying to tell me?
It tells you who the host is of that meeting.
No, that's in participants. I'm talking about.
No. If you go to the green shield, it tells you the name of the meeting, and then it tells you the host of the meeting.
So that's
it tells you the name of the account that was used to create this meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when host up there means owner, right?
It means the name of the account that was used to create this meeting ID.
Okay. Thank you.
Well spotted,
May or may
yes.
not be the owner, right? By the way, Robert, I think it's you. There's a lot of sort of like wind. It's like you're in a wind tunnel. Is that you? Go ahead and unmute. No, it's not you. Who just unmuted?
Is it me? I've got it.
Is that you?
It is you.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just check my settings because
I
I
mean,
know
fine.
I've been playing with.
So you know there's a lot of noise there.
You have all your noise suppression turned off, so we're getting a lot of
right.
We're getting a lot of air.
But we can hear if you blow the shofar.
That's true.
That's what you need to do, Dvorak. Just invite him.
I'd switched it.
Hey, he's
switched
in
it
Poland.
off.
It's an easy. Just call him.
I'd switched it off when I was trying to figure out how to help Deborah.
Noisegate is one of our great Zoom gifts of all time.
Yeah. Jason, what did you write in here about?
Thank you so much.
See you later. Zoom's shared audio feature. What is that?
Oh, that was a response, David, to you not being able to view the trouble ticket. That's the text. That's the response.
Thank you so
right.
much.
Right.
Okay.
The body of the message.
Thank you. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Back to Zoomtopia and our updated Zoom. What were some exciting takeaways from Zoomtopia? What was new that they announced? We've got Companion 3.0. We've got a lot of interconnectivity with other tools. With they had Google there, they had Cisco there. So what else are people? I want to play with Zoomy, but I can't find Zoomy. This new assistant. I can't find him anywhere though. Yeah, go ahead, Tamara.
There were a lot of things that I really did like, but I had to kind of think them through later. On the event side, I liked that you could load things up and then use your companion to kind of, like, if you had a list of speakers, you just put your speakers' names in, you load up your pictures, and then it will reconcile that. I thought that's great. That's amazing. I wish the service that I did use that. There's still some, like, just wigginess about how Zoom events works in terms of from an audience perspective. Like, if you looked in the chat during that in the lobby, like, no, people just don't know how to get into a meeting. It doesn't matter that it says join; they just are confused, and there's something about that system that just confuses them. But I also didn't realize exactly the power of Companion 3.0. Like, I literally did not have any clue based on what they said, and even had only an inkling of it when I was in the meetings where they're like, um, you know, Josh ran one where he's like, Rachel did this, this, and this. And I was like, wait a minute, what? You can do all those things? Okay. And then when I dove into it last night, I was like, this actually is really powerful, but getting to set up to where you use it, then it's just complicated. But there's so many tools there. Like, when it takes notes for you, we were introduced to Companion as just a note taker. AI Companion takes notes, right? And we were all impressed. We're like, oh, look, it's pretty accurate. It's kind of cool. About a couple weeks ago, I started noticing it would give me, like, notes, tasks, all these things that then you can use things with them. I was a little wigged out because it was not a meeting I was using AI Companion, and I had to opt out of it. But it's like, I don't think they really shared enough of, you met AI Companion as a note taker, and we've upped AI Companion to be an actual tool that you and your team can use in that kind of clarity, because the tool itself is really fascinating and has a lot of implications, but getting to know that about it, we just didn't. I don't think they gave us a good enough examples.
So I'm reading an article from SiliconANGLE about AI Companion 3.0. It has this prepare me for a meeting feature. A new assistant called Zoomy is designed to help participants in group meetings. So I can't find Zoomy because I'd love to talk to him. So I went into AI Companion, and I am on the latest thing. And I said, how do I use Zoomy? And it says, the answer it gave me is, Zoomy refers to employees at Zoom.
Well, they kept calling,
Zoomy,
like,
you need to apply for a job at Zoomy. So yeah, there again, we have them using Hub for multiple things. Now they're using Zoomy for two things.
Well, it felt like they were calling us Zoomies in the meeting, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Well,
so
either way,
if you go to an AI Companion notes, so this is what I found last night that I think is super powerful and definitely usable, and I did not hear this in anything I was in. When it does a set of meeting notes, it actually breaks out tasks based on what it thinks. The tasks that it broke out were not great, but it
Do you mean
was
the
a nice
summary, like the summary report?
It's so what it does is, if you look at any of the newer versions, then it gives you a summary of what was said, but it also gives you a task that it aggregates tasks that can then be put on your calendar, which is interesting. But the thing that was really interesting to me is I started hunting around, and right next to the notes meeting, there are a bunch of different templates. So you can actually customize your own template. Here's what I want AI Companion to do for me in a meeting when it takes notes. Or you can actually change the template of how it gives you the information. And the ones that they have set up are really interesting. So I think that is a potential for really powerful use cases in, like, across the board. And I think they didn't touch on it enough, because I was spent like hours with it, and I was like, oh, this is what you were doing that was annoying me, but now I can see the power of how I might use that.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I was on mute. I said, go ahead, Robert. I'm so sorry.
Okay, no problem. I was on a webinar yesterday, and there was a lady there who was talking about the way she's moved completely onto Zoom Workplace. And so she has an email and a calendar and everything. And she said that now when she attends a meeting, she will literally get an email with the tasks that she has to perform with a question, do you want me to put those into your calendar?
Yep.
Yeah, because I think one of the things that we are not appreciating about AI Companion is that, Zoom AI Companion, is that we're just using it as another AI tool and not using it as part of the total workplace. And if we make that step, and this is what she did, and she said she's using it, and she said she's actually literally given up all of her other tools. She's given up Google. She just doesn't use anything else. And that's when the integration becomes just obvious. I think we're not doing that. That's why we're not seeing it.
Yeah. And as a slap on my wrist, it's going to always work best when you schedule meetings and you don't use a PMI. Always, always, always. No, it is. It's always going to work better that way. I'm not going to do that, but it's always going to work better that way.
I never thought I'd hear those words coming from you. Well done, David. Yes.
Blow the shofar.
Hasma, go ahead.
Yeah, we have a team meeting once a week just to review all the projects and what's planned ahead of time. And these were in person in the office. Then I realized, hey, we can have the meeting on Zoom even though we're in the office. So everybody is logged into Zoom. And what it does is AI then creates the summary for me. So I don't have to actually be in the meeting, and I can just look at the summary review of the meeting. And what Tamara has just said, that it now adds the tasks that people had committed to during the conversation at the end of the notes. So now my team takes that and says, okay, matters arising from the previous meeting. And it's almost like a minutes that says, what are the matters arising and what people have committed to and what has been achieved. So it's become extremely helpful in the way the meeting is structured, and you just have this tool that's your company secretary.
A lot of offices keep the studio open all the time. And so you can just jump in, and that keeps the track of all day long. And you can check in from anywhere. And so that's always open. And it's the coffee room if you want to just get together. It's a handy tool.
Go ahead, Jason.
I could see the value of that, right? So that it would allow people in a meeting just to connect with each other and just the conversation flow. Meanwhile, the AI bot is taking the notes and organizing things and all of that. We can refer back to it in action items. So we're not having to concentrate and try to scribble things down. Okay, I can see that. We'll see how it actually works out in practice. But could we talk about this from a training perspective, from an education perspective? Because if people get comfortable with sending their AI substitute, their AI secretary into a training event, a learning event, then as the creator of the event, I mean, if I'm teaching, I'm expecting to teach people and not just have a bunch of bots sit there and take notes and summarize and then give it to a postage stamp on it to a human being that's supposed to do something better, cheaper, faster because they attended training. What do y'all think about that?
I actually had this discussion recently. Sorry, David, I jumped in because I thought you were busy with something.
Please.
I had this discussion the other day, and the question that I would put to you, Jason, is your requirement that they attend the training, or is your requirement that they gain the skill? Because if they're reading it and gaining the skill, then you're not really interested in how they learned that skill, if they're doing it in line with all of your processes and all of your guidelines and everything else that you've set out. And having it in that way And I'm saying this because I've been working with companies creating avatars for them and training material on using avatars. And it's exactly the same mindset that once you've got the process, it doesn't matter who is doing the training, as long as it's done in such a way that the messaging gets through and the people can use it and they gain the skills. And the question is, do they have the skills? If they didn't, there's something wrong with the training, or they're just not apt to it.
It's, what's the purpose of the meeting, right? Because if training consists of read this manual offline asynchronously, get back to me with any questions that you have, or watch this YouTube video and learn something and then go out in the field and do it, then we can do it asynchronously. But if I'm having a live meeting in order to, work with you and drill down through your gaps, then I see this AI bot more as a hindrance and not as a helper. What am I missing?
I'm gonna let Tamara come in here. I just want to say one thing. Yesterday, I got a call and it said, "Hi, I'm so and so's assistant." I was immediately turned off. Like, if that person can't spend the time to call me themselves, this is why I don't work in the corporate world, because I would fail immediately. But if I'm sorry, if I'm not if my time isn't important enough, so if someone were to send an AI bot to, that's, yeah.
But if you were paying the executive and you wanted maximum efficiency from that person, you would consider that.
That's fair. And again, that's why I'm probably wouldn't succeed in the corporate world. That's fair.
I didn't like Eric's AI bot in the keynote, but Tamara?
Oh God, I thought that's so annoying.
Like I did. So I was, during the keynote, I was like, this is what we're spending our time on. This is how we're going to tell me how great it is, because everyone is in two camps of AI. They like it or they hate it. Like there's no kind of middle ground. And I was kind of thinking back to like the websites, right? In the first even 5 years, you could be like in 1999, you'd be like, you know what, your company needs a website. And not everybody was on board. Like everybody was still kind of like, you had to explain it to them. And we're kind of we're at the pre-phase of that with AI. So the bot just felt like really weird. And I was like, where would I use that? But then I was in one of the sessions, and I was like, actually, I could totally see where I might use that, because like there are tons of times. Here's where you might use it. So I have a team where I send out these like emails. I'm like, hey, we're going to do tech stuff, or here's how you fix this thing. I can't get young people respond better to video than they do to not video. If I'm going to do a video on something really quick, I have to like make sure everything's set up. Do I look good? Do I do all this stuff? If I just have that bot and it's a tiny little video thing, I'm like, great, put the script in, just do it. I wouldn't use it for everything. I think I would use it in that kind of training category, right? Hey,
but asynchronously, right? Not synchronous. Not like, hey,
No,
everyone come to this 3 o'clock
asynchronously.
meeting to watch this AR avatar
No,
walk you through
I
how to
absolutely
diddle.
wouldn't use it there. But where I was like, oh, here's where it would be helpful. Someone's like, hey, Tamara, I don't know how to do this. I'm like, okay, no problem. I can pop in to ChatGPT, give me a list of how to do this, pop that into an avatar, send that over to them. However, if you look a little deeply, you get 3 avatars a month for 3 minutes. So it can't be used in that way. You can't just use it as an extension of, hey, someone's got a quick question that I could answer while I'm doing something else here. Let me send you a little link to my tiny video. It's like limited in, so that's not really a use case for it, right? Me going to a meeting with it, I'm not going to go into a meeting with it any more than me going to a meeting with the little avatars that they have, which one looks very much like me and my little teddy bear one. Like those were never kind of interesting to me. I want to say one more thing about AI Companion, because I'm fascinated by this. If you have AI Companion plus an add-on, you can use AI Companion in third-party meetings, which to me is like the key, right? I can everything in Zoom, but we're starting to now be able to take Zoom out into other places. That's going to make it a competitor for Google versus anything we've seen so far.
I agree. That's something that caught my attention also.
So
Lois and John Idelson, good to see you here, sir. Lois, go for it.
So two things. One is that if one used to be a high-powered executive and had a human assistant, that human might call someone, make sure they were actually there on the phone and say, please hold for, the vice president or whatever. And so having a bot do that, I think would be perfectly reasonable. Okay. So the other thing is, I'm going to defer to John and then come back to me.
Fair enough. Mr. Idelson.
Okay, thank you for deferring, and I apologize not being in my normal setup. I'm technically on vacation on Lake George, but Jason, I wanted to drop in from a professor's viewpoint. California State University Monterey Bay was a competency-based program. So it wasn't the number of hours you sat in the class, it was demonstrated competencies. One of my favorite cartoons was a video tape recorder or audio tape recorder playing in the front of the classroom with chairs which had cassette recorders on it as a class. Now, when you have face-to-face time, that's your most valuable time. Traditional education settings usually have the professor doing most of the work, talking, and we like to talk like I'm doing now, and the students hopefully actively engaging. When I was doing large lecture classes, because universities have to do that, I was amazed at how many students could physically be in the class and mentally not be there. I'd probably prefer a mental avatar than a student who was trying to figure out how to read the newspaper. So there's so much to the dynamics of face-to-face class, and a lot of it gets corrupted when we're changing the learning process from the competency process. So like in the state of California, everyone has to take, if you're a university employee, you have to take a defensive driving class. And it's so many hours long, and you have to do it every year. And it has quizzes, but they don't score you. The requirement for compliance is that you sit in that class for 2 hours. Now, I think it'd be much stronger if they put you in a defensive driving class, actually had you drive in a simulator, and if you didn't pass, you weren't able to, drive a university car. They don't even count your quiz scores. I said, well, you're spending all this money having people go through these 2 hours classes. They said, because that's the law. If we
it's
actually
compliance training.
Yeah, if we scored it and found out you weren't good and we didn't let you drive, then we're liable. So I think we have to separate, what are the goals and objectives. When I was you go ahead. I was going to say, but when I was teaching, my goal was the limited time we have is when people are together synchronously. So the more we could make that be engaging, whether they're just talking one-on-one with each other or presenting where there's an audience, then you can't do that being passively involved. If you had a class where your AI agent could go through the whole class and meet all the requirements, then that class probably isn't designed very well. So I think what's interesting is with each new technology, we try to solve how is this solving our problem and making things better. Rather, we really know what it means to have a good instructional engagement. Learning takes place not when, as much as a professor, and I like to think it's my incredible lectures, my charming jokes. Most of the learning takes place outside of the class when students are actually engaged in work. And to the extent that avatars or agents give us more time, Tamara, I'm with you. If I have to explain how to turn on original sound on or off again, I do it like I'm a robot. So once I got my avatar, I'm going to do that. And if I had this when my kids were growing up, I would never have told them about their chores. I would have done it once, and whenever they had the problem, I would have pushed that avatar.
Well,
I
can
think
I ask a couple of clarifying questions on the training design? Because my mind is kind of branching off here. John, do you use a flipped classroom for your lecture format, or is it traditional format where you're pontificating from the front, the sage from the stage?
and I can only speak for my classes, and I won't speak for the rest of the academy, which has a very use. But I rarely, unless it was a requirement, like the large lecture class that the university had to, get the enrollment numbers. I didn't have a class where I spent the majority of the time speaking. I did not feel it was a good class if I wasn't at least getting 60 to 70% of the discussion coming from the students. And even better when the discussion was not focused from the students to me, but from the students to the class.
Yeah.
And so it's how to get that dynamic. I think, unfortunately, because of numbers and all sorts of other things, a lot of us have the experience of the sage on the stage rather than the guide on the side. And my model was always a guide on the side. The other thing I did is face-to-face time is so valuable that I would do anything to offload the work that we did. In fact, with students, I was saying, come in and we'll do homework. We'll do like study hall hours. And that was probably the most productive thing, because
Most productive.
about 2/3 through the classes where we're doing program design, that's what it was. People were coming in, it was like they were at work, they were solving problems. And if I went over and talked to somebody and had a problem, then I would say, hey, everybody, this is what we're working on. Come around and look at it. And the other thing is, most of the fun things with that is the students realize this sort of the sham. Lots of times I go there and say, I'm not sure about this. And then somebody say, hey, Doc, let me go over and show them. And then there's only about 2/3 through there. One of my students says, wait, you know how to do that.
You know how to do this. Yeah, exactly. And
I said, yeah, but if I showed that, I'd have to do it. But hey, Tom Sawyer, you did it for me.
And I think, to paraphrase you and Tamara, where I hear the opportunities is, and I traditionally run a flipped classroom model. So I totally agree. Like if we're going to hold synchronous training, I'm showing up and you're showing up, right? So this is high value contact time. So I don't need you to read a passage or watch a video or research this and that. That's what you go do on your own time. Then once you've done that, you come into this synchronous learning, and then just like you said, John, okay, now let's dialogue this. Where are you running stuck? What problems are you having? Susie, can you help John out on that? Bob, what do you think? And it becomes like a collab lab, right? And I do this virtually too. And what Tamara's saying is, if I have to show somebody how to do original sound over again, okay, great. You do the Zoom avatar, you pop it over into a Zoom clip, you broadcast the Zoom clip out to everybody, and then they can watch it asynchronously whenever it is that they need training. But if you're coming in for Collab Lab, flipped classroom model, don't be sending your AI avatar over here, because you're not going to learn anything. Am I getting it right?
Yeah, and that's why it was weird that we spent so much time showing like the worst case scenario for this amazing tool, right? The worst case scenario is you as the CEO sending yourself into a meeting as a thing. The best case scenario is it using it alongside to augment the things that you're doing to give you quicker access to do a task that needs to be done and to serve your community. And so like that's what was like so wild to me, is I'm like, this is the worst case scenario. And what you're showing isn't it cool that we can do this? And what they should have done is say, isn't this cool we can do this? Let me show you how you're going to do it at home.
I thought it totally ruined the human factor for a conference that was themed humans first. Oh, let me send the CEO avatar to address the masses. Yeah. How does that affect trust in your leadership, for crying out loud? This guy couldn't even be bothered to show up, so he sent his computer avatar to tell us how important we are and how valuable we are. Forget it. I mean, that's totally going to bomb in a corporate environment.
So he stood and looked at the video.
Yeah, I have to, not in defense. We really need more creativity in how we do these events.
Yes.
And when you think about it, this is an extremely hard concepts that they were trying to show in very simple things. And their hearts were in the right place. I loved his tennis shoes. The camera was in the wrong position for the shoot. So there's some entertainment value there. But I think, Cameron, you were saying earlier, why didn't they show the companies how they were doing it and what they
Right.
were? And part of the problem is a lot of the companies that have figured this out, that's their competitive advantage. They see no advantage in telling the rest of the world how far along they are. And I think that's the challenge. How do you get people who have figured this out, who've increased their sales 40%?
You make it up. Honestly, you make it up. Instead of telling me who's using it, you say, this is the coolest tool that we have, and we want to show you what it looks like. And you're like, Karen does this. Because honestly, like the part of me that is a producer and that is like someone who tells stories, I wanted them to have a creative producer on these things, because as much as this used to work in the past to have these kind of dry company presentations, this is not how it works in an era where a TikToker can get on and be entertaining. They need a scriptwriter. They need someone who's going to go in and say, what's the story you want to tell? And how is the audience going to experience this? Like my job as a theater producer is to make sure that the audience experience from the time they buy a ticket till the time they're driving home is affected. And every decision that I make, from the
And
corporate
by
decisions
experience, you
to
mean
the others,
feel.
absolutely. How are they going to feel? What is it going to be like? What are they going to feel all the way through? That is my job as a producer, is to control that feeling. And every single decision I make, from the lighting to the ticketing to everybody along the way, to the casting, to the script, is about that experience. And I have to be the one to tell a writer, hey, the audience is not going to feel the way that you think because you've introduced something too soon before they've got a chance to sit down, the lights have gone out, and they're not comfortable yet. That's what they needed, is just someone to just go, here's what you want your people to come away with. How do you want them to feel about your product? They should feel intrigued. They should feel excited. They should feel like, I need to put some time on my calendar to find out more. And that did not happen.
Did I have permission to take this clip and show it to some people? The 1,000%. The people who I did receive some notice for some of my classes. Definitely not my good jokes, but I spent 3 years as a tech director in summer stock theater, and I think my teaching skills and understanding, reading the audience came from those summers doing 12 shows a season, a week-long show, and knowing that every performance is different and how you have to catch the audience. And I think you hit the nail on the head. This was a corporate presentation when we needed a drama. We needed a play.
And I think all corporate presentations need to be this way now. After 40 years in the theater, like this is really what you need, is to have, how are people going to feel when they leave you? Because if you don't leave them feeling that way, and they can look in their own chat, because the people in the chat were confused. They were like, and they were wowed too, because one of my favorite quotes that I put on my notes was, the emojis are the best part. Great. Zoom graphics, best part. Congratulations.
If anybody has a chance to go see a play that's currently playing in New York on Broadway called Maybe Happy Endings.
Oh, I want to see that so bad. I'm there next week. Maybe I'll try to see it.
Go see it. For those who haven't, there's lots of stuff on YouTube about it, but it's a story sometime in the future with two automatic robots, basically care robots that have been retired. And it's a story of their life and their interconnection with human beings.
So I want to. Lois has been waiting patiently.
Thank you for letting me interrupt.
Interrupt.
I wasn't going to do it. I'm here.
No, interrupt anytime. Just before
look at the lake, enjoy.
Stay.
Wow, nice view.
Before
Thanks,
we go
John.
over to you, Lois, I just want to. If anyone at Zoom is watching, there's a bug. So I'm on my homepage now for Zoom, and if I click on profile, I get user not exist 1001. So if anyone from Zoom is watching, please fix the profile button.
How do you
on
feel about that,
the
David?
website.
You've just
Well,
learned
I
something
mean,
new.
Go ahead.
I thought I existed. I've never been clear on what my existence means, but that I don't exist. And then I'm curious what 1001. I mean,
You just didn't get the memo, David.
I didn't get the memo about me not existing.
That is not an error, Dave.
Lois, go ahead.
Well, first I want to say to anyone who's watching from Zoom, hire Tamra next time. Yeah. So I want to go back a long way, few minutes. And you were talking about having, in a meeting, having it keep track of what happened. And then if you kept it open, the next time there was a meeting, it could relate back to what it had already known. And so here's my question on that. First of all, what is the item that's doing the keeping track of? And second of all, if I created a new meeting and I opened it and I kept it running, would that work with that? Or do I have to be a power user or something? Because I've just got a pro account.
Tamara, go ahead.
So I have a business account now. I have pro accounts too, and my sessions account. But I noticed with the pro account when I switched over, it was automatically set to take these extensive notes in all of my meetings. Then once what I found recently and what I gathered from watching the sessions and that made me intrigued was that I could then do something with those notes, right? So it can be set to automatically send out. And I was like in my session going, wait, does everybody get it? Because I definitely don't want that. I was a little horrified when I was like, oh my gosh, it really got everything that we were talking about. And maybe I don't want that on paper anywhere. But what you can do with it, Lois, is once you have it, you go back to your summaries and then you can move that places. So you can make it into a doc that you can share to everybody. So you can edit that doc out. You can share that. You can kind of move it to your team chat. And then you can do so there's other things that you can do with that aggregated information. And you can aggregate that information any way that you want. And I sense that you could create your own template for it. Like I could say, I want you to listen to these things. So I don't know how it works completely because I haven't, again, 2 hours was not enough to play around with everything. But that's where I thought it was kind of powerful, was that once I had that information, I could choose to share it with people. The other thing is so they were showing kind of a full system with it. You could start in a whiteboard. I'm in a shared whiteboard with you. We're going to do some brainstorming together, and then we're going to keep that whiteboard in our team chat. Now I can bring that into the meeting. I can then so they're really creating a linear and even more of a webby way of using it than a straight line. So I think that there's a lot of power in there. It's going to take a lot of kind of figuring it out, and I think that that's where they really need to get people, because as an average person, I'm a not average person, and I took a lot of time with it, and I still felt like I just touched the surface. So I think there's a lot you can do with it that I don't quite understand.
So is it team chat that is the persistent part?
I think so.
Team chat is just as it's defined. Everybody
Right.
that belongs to this group
Mhm.
can do a chat, and it runs 24/7. And that's within our organization. Everybody is allowed to be there and use it to send notice. You can delay it, you can copy, you can attach things. It's the internal communication in our case.
But I think you can
within our system. So we all have to have the same suffix on our email?
No, there's the option if you set up a meeting to allow the chat to be extended after the meeting ends.
Okay.
So that's the option you'd need to look at, Lois.
And then if the meeting is resumed, is that chat still part of it?
I don't know about that. I don't know if it's a recurring meeting if the chat is continuous. I'm not sure. I've never tested or done anything with that.
So the thing Tamara was talking about, which is keeping track of what's going on, and then if I wanted to, I could edit it and add it to a team chat. So this is something different than team chat. What is this thing called?
So it's AI Companion. But if you remember when we first were introduced to AI Companion 1, AI Companion 1 just took notes in the meeting. It basically summarized what it was.
And it
And
didn't
then
carry over.
And then 2, I actually asked ChatGPT, please go through and put a side-by-side comparison because this is confusing to me. 2, I feel like I don't have it in front of me. It kind of added, I think, more external people could be brought in. And 3 is like, it's almost a whole new tool, right? Because it's really more the idea of these hubs, this idea that you can kind of move information from different places and gather it and share it in different ways is kind of the new version, but it's also utilizing AI very differently. So you can do things with it that utilizes more up-to-date version of AI. Like AI, when a year ago, we could take notes. Now we can actually, it's aggregating tasks. So if it went through this meeting, it would pull out a list of things where it said, Tamara says she's going to follow up on this. And then those tasks are like these little icons and they're underlined. And if you click on it, it asks you, do you want to put this to your calendar? So within that, now I can put it to my calendar. I don't have to put it to my Zoom calendar. I can actually hook up my Google Calendar. I can actually hook up my Google Drive to save my things to. So that I think is really powerful. That was kind of missed in the presentation is how, we talk about, oh, well, it integrates with other things, but I don't think that was really clear in the picture of what does that really mean? What that really means is that I could have all my Google stuff, but I could actually stay in this ecosystem a lot differently and even more seamlessly in some ways than the Google system.
If I wanted to learn how to do this, what phrase would I look for to get instruction?
That's the mystery.
I think you first start with watching the recordings of Zoomtopia, and especially in the breakouts. And a couple of times they slipped. Tamara, did you notice they were using the word copilot?
Yep.
And Zoom AI is your copilot, which is the terminology that Microsoft is using in all their Office products,
right?
Which Microsoft, of course, uses OpenAI ChatGPT-5, but I heard, I believe it was Eric mentioned that they are also using ChatGPT from and Perplexity, and then I forget her name. She mentioned on top of that they layered in their own large language learning to create the Zoom AI, but that it, like you said, it's able now to share access across all these other different pieces of software.
That was the other thing that I saw it in passing yesterday. I was like, I need more about this. You can create your own knowledge base within the Zoom, like within your thing, so that you could create a customer service AI who does all your customer service, and it's answering, say I'm setting up, I've got an event and people need to know how to get in. I could just set up a language model and then it will act as act as an assistant. So that's pretty powerful. Hard to get, but learning how to do all that stuff is still, I still think that's a limitation that Zoom has to overcome.
Tamara, can I
look for Zoom Companion version what?
Zoom AI.
Zoom AI 3.0.
So, right. So let's
okay.
Let's take a look. Right. So I just have my Zoom for this meeting. I opened Zoom Companion in the bottom of this meeting, and then I asked it, "Are there any action items?" It then found, here are some action items. Devora has to follow Jason's documentation to turn off Windows focused audio. Devora has to test Chauffeur out. For David, download and test Zoom cuts to check for original sound toggle hotkey functionality. That's actually fantastic. That's exactly what I needed to remember to do. And then for the Zoom team, they have a task of fix the profile bug showing user not exist at 1001 error on homepage. So then I clicked on, so then I said, add the task for David to my calendar. Now, this is a little confusing because I have multiple accounts, and I forgot that I'm not in David's account. I'm in Zoom Test Kitchen account, but so it couldn't do that. But then it said, I don't know who this David is, but do you want me to put a reminder in your calendar? So I said, yeah, schedule a personal reminder, and it scheduled a personal reminder, a 30-minute meeting to my calendar for today at 4:35. If I click on that and I move Companion out of the way, I can see this is no, I don't need to send any updates. I just want to see the calendar. So if I go into my calendar for today at 4:35, there's my event. Is that what you're talking about, Tamara, when you
Kind
talk
of.
about the
So now
automation?
if you go to your web client, and it says when you go to your when you log in, on the side at the bottom, it will say summaries. And these summaries will be auto deleted at a certain time. But in those summaries, that's where I was digging around and I was like, wait a minute, this is way more powerful than I could have ever imagined. Matter of fact, I was offended when I saw it before because it was auto taking notes that I didn't ask for. And I was super like, I didn't need that. But then yesterday I was like, yes, I do. If you go to that, it's under recordings and transcripts, and you click on, and it does do it in personal meetings. By the way, David, whatever meeting you're in, if you're copying things, it's there.
Okay, so sorry, so this is a different account. Do I need to be in the Zoom Test Kitchen account?
Well, I'm just saying, look at one so you can
Okay,
kind of
fine.
see what it does.
So where do I go? Summaries.
Summaries.
Which is down. So I'm just so everyone knows, I'm in personal. Here's home, and then if I go down the side here, eventually I come to
Summaries
right there under recordings and transcripts.
So if you look
So
at them,
this is right now.
right. So if you click on that, there's a thing that says template, and the general template will give you a quick recap on top, next steps where it's aggravated all of the action items, and they're now clickable, but they're like, they pull out, like my meeting had some things from Kate and some things from Tamara. Then it gives me highlighted things where it gave me a section heading and then a little summary of each of the things that we talked about. But as I was floating around, if you look down, if you click over a general template, there's all kinds of templates that you can choose to view things through, and that you can actually choose to set up yourself.
So this is new meeting summary templates. You can now regenerate your meeting summary based on different templates. All right. So it's interesting. On another meeting, I couldn't do this.
And I will tell you, they just like the update right now, they're all colorful. It was not colorful when I was playing around with it.
It's interesting.
Earlier.
Can we pause right here for an important question? My question was, were previous summaries captured in previous versions of Zoom AI? And then David, when you went into one and you hit the template and regenerate, I wonder if that's the way to make things backwards compatible, to take something that was generated in version 1 or 2 AI and now new enhanced AI, go back to your old notes, run it through this version 3 and see what it can do.
Yeah, I'm doing one right now. It takes a while for it to kind of pair things up, so I'm going to see what it looks like. But I think like that to me became really interesting. Now, the key is if you look at it, they're going to auto delete at a certain time. So you can kind of see when things are going to auto delete. One thing you can do is then save it to a doc. Then you can move that doc around and make that shareable. It will have shared meeting notes that are already shared. But like for me, I don't necessarily want every one of the meetings that I have to be out in the world. I want to control that. So I asked specifically, does this give it to everybody? They're like, nope, it'll email it to you or send you can do it and you can choose who gets it.
Sorry, I just want to interrupt. I started getting a beeping in my ear. So it scheduled a 4:35 meeting for me for that Zoom Zoom cuts thing. And now it's beeping in my ear saying, hey, it's time for your meeting. It's 4:35. Do you want to attend your meeting?
That's fine.
So I didn't know where that sound was coming from, but that's That's what it is.
David, just a shout out. Your screen is in 320 by 180p.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
And
Let me get out of this.
It did just regenerate in a totally different way. That's fascinating. I think that's to me, it even sent the action items differently. It made I did which one did I use? Did the brainstorm one, and it gave me key takeaways, brainstorming topics. And then at the bottom, instead of giving me linkable things to add to my calendar, it said action items. It split mine, Kate's, who was in my meeting, and both of ours, and it had little check boxes. So I think like that, to me, I didn't get any of that from any of the things. And then when I started playing with it, I was like, okay, wait a minute. I'm going to put the meeting that I thought was worth.
Was that new thing done from the recording that you have?
It was done from the summary.
So how could I have more in it than was in the original summary?
It's reformatting it in a different way. But it is kind of, so I will tell you that it's I don't know the behind the scenes of this, but I will give you an example. So I have taken like videos, or like I did this for the rundown. I took a video recording of the rundown and I put it into Chat GPT, and I just put the link and I said, can you create show notes from this recording? And it literally created show notes with quotes and with all of these things based on just the link. So I think that when you're pairing with these newer language models, they're able to do that. Like I did that with our show, Lois. I put a link to the radio program and it created full show notes for me.
Can I ask a question? So because I'm thinking about Lois, your question about, where is this? How do I find this? And so I know that if you scroll down to summaries, you can get there, but it seems to me you should also be able to get there from a prior meeting, right? So absolutely. Here I am in my meetings tab, and I go to previous, and if I choose a meeting, it's not here. Like it says meeting summary template, general template, but then I can't click on it.
I think this like speaks a lot to just the experience of an audit. Like if you're old school and you learned how to design web pages, you knew that you had to have 3 different access points to any one area, because you don't know how people access their information the best. And that's been a problem with the whole Zoom setup and how Zoom events works, is that it's intuitive to one group of people instead of thinking about your audience as lots of different people are going to come in different ways, and they're going to need to see it in a way that it needs to be visual, or it needs to be, organized the way that they have it. So I think that's one of the things that is definitely room for improvement.
And that is because of corporate silos.
Absolutely.
The events team is the events team. The webinar team, Josh, the webinars. The products team is the product team. The documentation team is the documentation team. And whether it's Microsoft or Zoom or Disney, that's what happens when you silo. You got to have those advocates, those bridges between that say, hey guys, wait a minute. What if I want to access this information from a meeting and I go to my meeting and I can't get to the summary? Why do I have to start at summary first and come in that way?
Right. And that summary, that page, it's a huge sidebar list of text. I had to go through, start at the top and go, what does this one do? What does this one do? What does this one do? And I thought, who's going to be like me? Which average user? I'm sitting here specifically putting on my calendar that I'm going to do this. The average person is not going to do that. This is a huge, powerful system that nobody can use.
David, how did you get to that page where you found Zoom? I can't get there anymore.
Oh, are you going to Zoom?
Go to audio settings in the bottom and you click the link and you got there. How do you get there?
So I just went to zoom.us, but I'll tell you, so I'm in my browser. I'm glad you said this actually, Lois, because I'm in my browser. There is no obvious way to get to what we're talking about, to get to where is it? This page, right? So here I am. I went to zoom.us. If I look at DP,
We can't see what you're showing.
oh
David.
goodness, I'm so sorry. So, so this is where I want to go, right? Where, with all the options down the side. So to get here, what I've always done in the past is go to zoom.us. So this is what I see when I go to zoom.us. My best guess was to click on DP. And then I've got preferences, add account, web app, sign out. I don't know. I tried web app. No, that's not what I want. It's preferences. And that takes you here.
Can you get
Can't you
here
get
through
that
the
from the
Workplace app
So let me pull up the
on that
Workplace app.
big AI companion panel that eats up all the real estate on the Workplace app now?
So I'm on the, so here's the Workplace app. There's no, you mean just asking?
Well, or any of these icons
No.
or more, or asking it, or it's
Right. So
such
if
a
I click
big
on-
piece of real estate.
Right. Huddle, surveys, notes, contacts. No, because what this does is it opens each of these in the app.
Right.
Now, if I go down to settings, I bet you, yes, settings is going to open up, is going to bring that up for me. So if you click settings in any of your Workplace apps,
It
Like
takes
when-
you to the web portal.
although it's not, it's interesting, it's
Yeah.
not here on the home page.
But
It's
again,
not
like
on-
just create a button. Click to
Right,
my
it's not on the
click to my
calendar.
portal.
It's not on Team Chat. It's nowhere. It's on Hub. That's where it is. Yeah.
But when I click settings, I get the in-meeting settings. I don't get
On the Workplace app, Lois. That's what David's showing.
Right.
Yeah.
Not in this meeting, in the Workplace app.
I'm in the Workplace app. I'm scrolling down. I have About Zoom Workplace app. I have settings. And when I click that, I get the same settings as I get if I'm in the meeting and I click video settings or audio settings.
Because you're in the meeting now, I think.
Yeah.
No,
So-
I'm in the meeting now also. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
sure what you're saying you're scrolling down on. That's the piece I'm a little confused about.
I'm on a
Oh, you're
Mac.
right.
On the left is an Apple, and the next one says Zoom Workplace, and that has all of the things about Zoom Workplace. Check for updates and all that other
No,
stuff.
that right.
Oh,
no,
wrong
that-
place. Yeah.
No, that in the app itself.
Yes.
So right. So don't, not in the menu bar, down here in the app itself.
Well,
Not in the menu bar. Don't click anything in the menu bar. If you go to the hub here,
I don't have that. Okay, I'm going to have to leave and come back because that was the opening screen, which is not available anymore.
so if you go down to the Zoom app in your, what do you call this down here? Your whatever, and you right click, you should see Zoom Workplace and then Zoom Meeting. If you click on Zoom Workplace, that should open this again for you.
As I said, I don't have the opening screen. I will leave and come back, have the
Okay.
opening screen and try it.
Okie dokie. Okie dokie.
Since I
I mean-
closed that opening screen.
The
Has
hub
it?
is interesting because it has like really nice buttons, like the docs button and the data buttons and the whiteboard and all of those things. I just feel like when you get into like I want to get to summaries I want to get to these things from anywhere that I am. So like there should be if the hub is where we're going to put everything, then
Yeah.
put a button on. Every time you go somewhere else, you say here's the hub to get you home because there's no way to kind of get to that page.
Yeah, Hazmat, go ahead.
Yeah, in terms of Tamara's comment about how long the summary is gonna be in the summaries tab on the portal, I just went to my own account and had a meeting on Monday and Tuesday this past week. And when I look at the meeting summary and click on discussion, it says meeting transcript is no longer available to generate a new summary. So it kind of begs the question, how long is it going to allow you to regenerate a summary? And this is just what,
I'm sorry, it
4
says
days ago?
It says the transcript is no longer available. What does it say exactly?
So when I go to the actual meeting summary of the actual meeting, there's a template, and the template it has is discussion. And when you click on the down arrow option for getting more templates, it then gives you by default that the meeting transcript is no longer available to generate a new summary.
So I generated mine from a few meetings back.
Let me just show. So this
Yeah.
is what everyone is seeing. So this is the meeting that we're in right now, actually. And I have the same thing. So meeting transcripts is no longer available to generate a new summary.
A new summary. Yeah, that's what I
An
get.
insufficient transcript. And I wonder if
Zoom in on that date again.
On what date again?
Right there. So is it related to the fact that this is more than 30 days? Because a lot of these bots, they lose their memory after 30 days. Or number two, is it if this is a recurring meeting, is it because we're in session right now, hence insufficient transcript? Just two thoughts.
And also, what account do you have? Do you have a business account or a pro account?
Business.
Okay, then that.
Can I show you my screen?
Yeah, please.
So there we go. So this is a business account as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a meeting September the 16th. And it's taken enough info. It even gives this, what we talked about, action items, right? And when I go on top, this is what I get.
Do meeting transcripts...
Is there a setting that says auto somewhere? Because
right, auto delete transcript or something, I wonder.
Or what about Hasmuk on the left, where in the navigation pane, recordings and transcripts? Can you get to this transcript? Yeah, can you get to that transcript through there that gives you more functionality than through the summaries? Transcripts, 1, 2, 3 tabs over underneath the top header. Recordings and transcripts to the...
Yeah, and
okay,
then
cloud recordings. There you go. Yeah.
Everything is so texty.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have no transcripts. That's so interesting.
So I'm wondering if, I was
there
wondering.
There you go. That's why the permissions, you're not allowing them to retain. So that's why it's a no-go.
Okay.
So you need to go into your...
into
your user settings, right down there into account management,
and then change it there. Okay. Yep. I'll have a look.
Let me let me go ahead and pull those up just so that we can look at it together. So, because I don't really care if people see anything here. Account settings, and record and transcript. So, data retention. Data retention. Delete cloud recordings and transcripts after a specified number of days. So you'll want to see if that's turned on. Enable trash for recording and transcript. Okay.
And let me just chime in on trash if I could. Trash relates to your storage space, okay? And if you have something, you're getting close to your storage space, you can take something and put it in trash. It does not count against your storage space, and it gives you an additional 30 days.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
here's the setting. Allow users to retain, access, and manage transcripts generated by AI companion features for use by other AI companion services. That's meeting transcripts are retained by default unless custom auto deletion is set. Now wait, what is custom auto deletion?
The previous one that you had.
The one down here. Yeah. Delete cloud recordings and transcripts after a specified number of days.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I should have a look at mine.
I'm starting to understand.
It really is, and again, I'm not, I'm not throwing shade at Zoom. I mean, this is a huge app with a gazillion different settings. but UI is really important.
Really important.
And if you can't find stuff, it's
It puts an extra burden on your support team because now you get times 1,000. Where is this? How do I get to that?
Yeah.
They have AI agents now, though. They'll just send you a video.
Like, I'll be honest with you, I never would have come in here and intentionally gone into summaries.
No, I wouldn't either. I started at the top and went at line by line clicking on things. And I thought, who's going to do this? Like, who's crazy enough who loves Zoom like I do that is going to go through and go, what is under every single one? Like, we will.
I might have started at transcripts.
Yeah. And it's so powerful. And I was like, where has this been hiding? And I saw it being used in a session. I'll try to find out which session it was. I think it was the second session Josh did, where they spun through it so quickly that I was like, what are they doing? And that's why I put time on my calendar to go, I need to know what just happened, because it was so quick that I didn't know how they got from one place to another. And that's how I connected the dots. And I was like, oh, this is way bigger than just, oh, hey, we dropped a thing. And it's way more important than my CEO can be can be a fake.
Did you think the breakouts were Simulive?
I did. They were so the breakouts were not Simulive. They were the ones I went into, I went into breakouts. I went into 5 of them. I did tastes in 2 of them and went into 3 different ones in 3 different tracks, or 2 different tracks. So those breakouts were actually like people in them. But here's the other problem that happened. The keynote went long, but the breakout started on time. So if you were thinking you were going to need the keynote and then go to your next breakout, that team was set to start. They were set to start and they were set to go. And the fundamental polar opposite, which I think you mentioned too, Jason, of being in those rooms, those session rooms, was completely unlike being. The chats were excited. People were excited to be there. The team was excited to tell us about their new stuff that they had. And that's what made it come to life. And I was like, you know what? Let's make a 15-minute keynote. And let's pull people into longer sessions where they can
Let's
go in.
Let's close with the keynote.
Absolutely.
That would have been better meeting design.
Or set it up so that you really did keynote about to meet your whole audience, and then do your panel, the things that we're going to talk about, solopreneurs, that's in that track. That's a special keynote for that track, so that you're really targeting and hitting your audience, because people don't need 2 hours of stuff that only 15 minutes pertains to them. They want to be in it, and you needed more time to get that. The people who go there, these are the people who care. People go to Zoomtopia, they care about Zoom already. They don't need to be convinced. What they need is to be trained on, or intrigued enough to go back and train their team.
That's it. Let me carry the torch for you.
Yep.
I'll pick it up from Zoomtopia and take the torch forward. That's what they're looking for.
I'm gonna after Hasbeck, I'm throwing this to Lois, and I'm just stepping away for 2 seconds. But so Hasbeck and Lois go.
Yeah, can I close what we were talking about earlier? So I am in my account settings, as you can see there, and I am under this tab, recording and transcripts. And coming down here, which is the one that I need to switch on to make sure the transcripts stay?
What I would do, Hasmuk, is there a search bar up at the top where you can just type in the word transcript?
Mm-hmm.
And then it should show you all iterations of, okay, here you go. Okay. So allow viewing of transcript, and in the meeting side panel, do you want to turn that on?
Okay.
Save captions or transcripts. That's the other crazy thing is, to me, captions are one functionality and transcripts are another, but they share, I guess, the same backend. So you might want to turn that on. And then only allow the following users to save captions from the meeting. That's what Tamara was speaking about earlier. You may not want to publish to all.
Viewers can see cloud recording. I'm referencing this in the context of being able to regenerate the
Right.
and
And
using
then
the
the bottom
template.
one, AI companion, characters based on audio transcript data. Ta-da.
This one, yeah.
Now, yep, I think, and to me, that sounds like what you're looking for, although I'm confused by the label ahead of it that makes it seem like it's only related to clips.
Right. Yeah, it says AI companion clips.
And then there's your data retention.
Okay, I'll play with this around. I don't want to take up the mean. Delete cloud recordings and transcript after a specified number of days.
Yeah.
Okay, offline I'll work around this.
There may also be a setting like that in your personal settings. You may need to check.
Gotcha.
Okay, so this is being recorded on YouTube and I can watch it later, right? Okay, so I'm not going to try and ask you to do all the stuff that you already did. I'll go and watch that, but I have to know how to get there. So I am going to share my screen and I'm going to ask you. So here's my opening screen from the workplace. So I had closed that and you can't get it back once you close that. That's why I had to leave and come back. So here I am. Where do I get to the thing that you were working on?
Right. So as we were saying, it's not obvious, but if you look in the top right, kind of actually in the middle.
My name?
No, toward the middle. And you see, see that little gear?
No.
No, down.
By
down,
the 1:56 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah. Where does that take you?
It takes me to the in-meeting settings.
All right. So
And
get
I
out
would
of that.
usually have gone down here. But
Yeah, exactly. So it's probably under my account, but there's probably a quicker way to do it. So if you hover back up over your icon.
Okay, so close this.
Yeah. Hover back up over your icon. Yeah. And click on that. So if you see settings, does that take you to the web portal?
Takes me right back to the same exact thing.
Right back. See, this is the problem. This is what we're talking about.
Well,
So
try
go
the
ahead.
3 dots more, because I think the hub is in there.
Yeah, right. You can get it through the hub. So if you click on hub, and then in the bottom left, there's a gear icon. Click on that.
The bottom left down here. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what we just
That's how
explained.
Dave got there last
We
time.
just explained brilliantly how
It's in your browser window.
your browser opened.
No, that's my YouTube.
No, a Safari tab. I thought I saw.
Safari?
I thought something. I saw
Well,
a
Safari,
browser
I use
open up in the
something
back.
different.
Okay. Well, I saw the screen flash after
Do
you
me a favor,
launched
click it
it.
one more time.
It says default open method.
Yeah, I know.
And so that's the default open method, but how do you open it?
I know.
I honestly always just start at zoom.com and log in through the browser. I don't even try to go in through Workplace.
Well, this is ridiculous. It used to be so
Concur, but that's how when I want to get into the behind the scenes stuff, I always do it just goes through the browser and log in.
All right, wait a second.
Choose
Now
open a new window, see what it does.
I'm so confused because now I can't
This
get
is
there
just
either.
setting the default. This is not doing it.
Right.
This is saying, if I say open it, do it in a new window.
So how did I get there before? I'm like baffled. I don't know what is going on now.
Yeah, I feel like you had to go into like a settings or something. This is why I gotta get there as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Surefire method.
Swore that's what I did. I thought I did it in front of
I
everyone.
thought that's what you did
I'm so
too.
confused.
Yeah. I don't know. You had more stuff though. I don't know. Let me see.
Well,
Well,
all we're doing is proving the point of how,
right.
Download
However, if you say it, like in theory, if you say open in a new tab and you click on anything, it should get you to your thing, right? So if you were
maybe.
This is
Yeah.
just, this doesn't
It's actually
say
a good
open
point.
the advanced. This is just opening this thing.
But
No,
what
no.
I'm saying is, if you say open in the browser,
Right, and now
then you
click
just
on hello
open
from Zoom
anything,
Docs.
you're going to get into the browser that has all of your other options.
Right,
In
change it.
theory.
No, go back down and change it to open in browser. And now click on hello from Zoom Docs at the bottom there. That little Zoom doc, right? There you go. So now it's bringing you into Zoom Docs.
And then it bring you to sign into Zoom. Once you sign
Right.
in there, you'll have it.
Right. So
that's why I just
again,
go straight to
the easier way to probably do it is to just go to zoom.us. But then again, it's not even obvious from there now. I don't know why. In the past, I would type in zoom.us and it always took me right to my settings page.
I know. It's a lot of commercials that they're doing right now. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm a customer already, bring me straight to what I need to be. And you can advertise to me in a different way.
I'm looking to see if there's another my profile. Oh, you know how else you can do it? Okay. All right. So here's another way you can do it. I'll show you. So I'm in my the app, just like you were. I click on my profile picture on the top right.
Oh wow.
And then profile my profile.
It looks like there's space on that front page to just be like click.
And that takes you there.
Right. So anything that you click that'll get you to that thing.
Rinse and repeat that, Dave. That was so valuable. We need to see it again.
Yep.
Okay. So you're in your Zoom app here. Click on your profile picture. Click on profile and my profile. And interestingly, for this account, the user is found. So because I'm logged into it, this is a different account. But my other account, for some reason, still. I'm actually going to try it on this. I'm going to try it on this computer.
I wonder if it was conflicting
I
because you
share
had logged
screen?
into the app.
May I share screen and see how it works on mine?
Yeah, let me just really quickly. I'm going to log in here. All right, so now I'm in. So this is the same account, the master account. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go profile, my profile. Interesting. And now it opens in correctly. I'm not getting that error anymore. Really
They fixed
weird.
it fast.
Yeah, really weird. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, I'd like to share and see if it works.
Yeah, of course, please.
Okay, so I'm going to share that one. So here I am. I'm in my splash screen for the Zoom workplace. He said, go to my icon and then come down and pick profile my profile. And I'm wondering if any of these will work.
No, because if you see how that icon next to my profile, that means you're leaving the app and you're going somewhere else. That's why.
So this says plans and billings. It has
so yes, that will take you to plans and billing. Yes.
Can I try that?
But you could do whatever you'd like.
And there I am.
Yeah.
Now I can go to my home and I can go. You said hub is where I need to go to get that schedules. Those
Summaries.
No, summaries. Yeah.
All right. So here are summaries. Oh my.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I had a meeting, it made a summary I've never looked at.
Big Brother was watching and listening.
Yep.
I thought I turned it off every time, but I guess I didn't.
Well, that's why I was so surprised the other day when I saw it. I was like, where's this? Oh, this isn't a meeting I would want to have extra information in.
And so I'm going to look at recordings and transcripts. Okay. There's the recordings. Where's the transcripts?
Yeah, Dave, go ahead.
Okay, the transcripts. Download or delete. Okay. And then if I choose one of these, I'll choose this one. I don't know what it is, but
So
and
your transcripts you can download or delete. Your meeting summaries will open up into like things you can play with.
meeting summaries is different than transcripts.
Yes.
Gotta remember that. Okay, so here I am. Let's see what that little arrow is.
It's a share. So you could share that transcript with whoever's in the meeting.
Or I could click on it and
Click on the title of it.
the title of it.
Double click on that.
I think I did that.
So that's the general template, and you'll see that it pulled out some to-dos, and you can change the template. It takes a while for it to regenerate, but you can change it into one of their other templates.
Okay.
So hey,
Right.
how
So
come
thank
Lewis
you.
has it and I don't have it?
Say what?
You have it, but I can't seem to have that option to use all the different templates.
Click on the general template. It is not noticeable that it is actually something that you click on. Like Lois, try it again one more time.
So
Remember, Lois had everything turned on by default. She didn't realize she had
Right.
things turned on. And Hasmuk had
Yeah.
a lot of
Okay.
stuff turned off.
Right.
And I'm in summaries, not transcripts.
Okay.
Do you want to be in transcripts?
No, but
No.
go back into summaries really quick because I
Summaries,
think this is
yeah.
really important.
Uh-huh.
If you open your summary up again,
Same one?
any of them, it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter. You almost, that general template, there's a little arrow there, but you almost don't know that you have other options.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unless
all of
you
those other things.
slide your little cursor over it, which is what I did. And I was like, wait, there's more. And what I looked at yesterday didn't have all these colors. So I feel like there's been an update.
Jason, what are you doing on my computer? Wait a minute.
Let us talk
But-
about the other cool things.
So Tamara, I'm not gonna sleep until I get this.
Okay.
Dude, I lost so much time last night.
All right. So that was a doctor's visit. We don't really want to be seeing that. So let me get out of there. Thank you very much for getting me into this. I can play with this on my own now. Now that I understand that you have to pretend you're looking at something else in order to get to, why doesn't it just say general setting?
My thesis has been proven.
So simple.
This has been a fabulous fun. I do have to hop off though, but I've had a great time with the kitchen as always.
Thank
This
you.
was awesome.
That was great. That was great.
Thanks, Tamara. See you next time around. Boy, that was worth the price of admission right there.
I wonder if we didn't even get to any of the updates. I wonder if the Zoom updated to 6.6 before Zoomtopia. I wonder how much stuff they didn't put in that update. And it's still may be coming. I don't know.
And to an earlier point where I think it was Robert that was talking about, you could always just roll back a version. This is the importance of having a production machine that is not on the latest version of any piece of software, not just Zoom, any piece of software, but especially when you're getting a release that is something .0.0. I find like that's the slowest one that I will walk into, because give it a week or two or whatever, and soon it's going to be something .0.1.
Or 27.
Well, yeah, because of, stability issues, or there were something that they found that was broken that they need to patch quickly.
So before we go away, Jason, how did you get that arrow showing on my screen?
Okay. Robert raised his hand before you asked that question. So, Robert, go ahead.
No, I was going to change. Why didn't you finish it off? Because that was something was ongoing.
Okay. So it's related to when someone shares. Let me see if I have something that I'll share from my end, Lois, so you don't have to do it again. But it's when anyone shares, provided that sharing permission is turned on. I want to be technically accurate here. So let me just share something. Yeah, that'll be fine. And okay, yep, I think that's correct. We'll soon find out if my settings are correct. Okay, So, Lois, on your screen down around the bottom left-ish kind of, do you see like a green pencil icon?
Yeah.
Click on the green pencil icon. That is what is called the annotation toolbar. It has been around for quite a while. Okay. On the annotation toolbar are things like the pencil, which Lois has found. You'll see it's called a stamper tool, which may be a check mark, but you can change it to a pointer or a star or a heart or blah, blah, blah. There is something that looks like an arrow that is actually called a spotlight. There you go, Lois, good. And the spotlight, if you don't like that, then you can use a laser pointer.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Now, when you use the spotlight that actually looks like an arrow, it only sticks in one place. So if I were to ask the audience, pick 3 things on this screen that you like, and you're using the arrow as your spotlight, okay, I can't click on 3 things. You can't click on 3 things.
But I can stamp on 20.
But you can stamp on 20, right?
And I can choose different kinds of stamps too.
Correct. And just again, to clarify terminology, because we know things are sloppily labeled sometimes in Zoom, the spotlight on the annotation toolbar is different than the spotlight that you use for video channels, webcams. Spotlighting Robert is different functionality than using the spotlight tool on the spotlight tool on the annotation toolbar and spotlighting something on the screen like this or like that.
It doesn't say spotlight on mine. It says arrow and stamp.
Oh, yours says arrow? If you hover over the arrow, it says arrow?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a Windows Mac
and
thing.
This is an arrow.
Yes, okay. And do you have a laser, let's see, a laser spotlight kind of thing?
No, I don't.
It's not right above that. It's not right above that arrow
no,
thing?
The stamp and then a draw, which is a pencil, and T for text, and then back to mouse.
Okay. Huh. I don't know why you don't have a laser as a spotlight.
Maybe because I'm a pro account and not a business account? I blame everything.
No, because this is related to the annotation toolbar. I don't know. I would have to experiment to find out.
Maybe a version should.
I have the latest.
Yeah, or is it maybe related to
Mac and
host
Windows
mode right now or something?
How about Mac and Windows?
That very well could be too.
I'm a Mac.
Yeah, exactly. So a couple of thoughts. I don't know what the answer is. We'll have to experiment.
So once I've done all this stuff, how does the eraser work? Does it erase everything, or does one at a time?
No, great question. The eraser is role specific. So we are in a meeting, and a meeting has a host, a co-host, and a participant, and there's an alternate host. Okay, so there's host, alternate host, co-host, and participant. Did I get that hierarchy right from top to bottom?
And I'm a participant.
And you're a participant, which means the eraser allows you to erase your stuff.
Yeah, and I'm doing it by dragging it across what it is. I can do one thing at a time with a click, or I could drag it and get a whole swath.
And so as a host, alternate host, or co-host, you have the option to clear viewers drawings. Let me hold on. I got to turn on my confidence monitor here to make sure. Am I sharing?
And
yes,
Jason,
I am sharing my Zoom.
So if I put something in, you're saying you can take it out?
Right. So if you look on the screen, I'm sharing my Zoom toolbar. Okay. So my trash can, I can clear all drawings. Everybody in the meeting right now, I can clear just my drawings, or I can clear viewers' drawings, which is if you're a participant, not a co-host.
What about the eraser on your going up above the red dot?
Then I can draw something on the screen, Lois.
I did. It's right there. It says Lois Richter. It's in red.
Oh, well, that's your pointer. I can move it and then I can take it
I
out.
clicked that. I mean, it stayed there. I created it, but it stayed there. So I create a new one. It stays there.
But I can move it.
Uh-huh. And I can make little question marks all over the place.
Yeah, and so then I could take the eraser and wipe them out or drag.
Okay. So you can erase mine, but leave
as host.
Robert as host or co-host.
As host, I can erase anybody's.
Okay, but you can, instead of that thing that says erase all, you can erase specific.
Right.
Can you choose who is allowed to make these things? And is it person specific or is it role specific?
Okay. So that I don't confuse your question, let's take the first one first. As a host in the meeting, I can determine whether the annotation toolbar is available in meeting or not.
So that's everybody on or everybody off.
Right. So in other words, back to square one, that green pencil isn't even visible if I turn that functionality off. Okay.
It's gone.
So assuming, yes, I do want people to annotate in my meeting as the host, I turn that functionality on. Okay, now at any point,
no green pencil.
Because you have the annotation toolbar already open.
Nope, it's closed.
Oh, it is?
Yep, but no.
Okay, then, and it may be different in a Mac. Let me think where they stick that toolbar.
And it might be because it appears when you first share. In other words, if you stop sharing and reshared, I'm guessing it would come back.
We can find out. Let's see. I'm checking a couple of three dots things too. Okay, hold on. So here,
upper left-hand corner is now appeared, and I can move it around on the screen. So I can put it where I want it, but it is back.
Okay, so what I did is, let me share this. Oh, you're not seeing this toolbar. Darn, hold on. Maybe I gotta see if I can share that toolbar so you can see it, because this is, as a host, there's a way to toggle that. Okay, we want to share toolbar and notifications, share. There it is. Okay, thank you. So by toggling this, that refires it, re-triggers it for everybody in the meeting. In addition to the fact that it opens and collapses my personal annotation toolbar.
Do that again.
Yep. So now you see it. Now you don't.
No, I've still got the green pencil. No matter.
Right. But watch. Okay. So let me pull this back on the screen. Okay, I'm going to pull mine way over here so that it doesn't bother you. Okay, click on your green pencil. You have annotation. Draw something on the screen. Perfect. Okay, now on that annotation toolbar, click the red X to close it. Your annotation toolbar goes away, yes?
Yes, but the annotations stay.
But the annotations stay. Do you have a green pencil visible, yes or no?
And I can open it again, and there we go.
Okay. So that time it's stuck, but like I say, I can toggle it.
When you toggle that, the green pencil stayed.
Yes. Now I can turn off annotation.
And now the green pencil went away.
Right. And then, as the meeting host, I can
so
clean up.
The thing you were clicking on and off was only your
toolbar,
notification bar, and it was the other place that turned it on and off for everyone, and you now have it off for everyone.
Yes, I do.
including me.
Yep. Now, so where do you use this? Okay, a typical interaction. You put a picture of a map up on the screen and you say, hey, everyone, grab your annotation toolbar, grab the pencil, and draw on the map where you're joining us from today. That may be one example. Or take a look at this chart that we've put up here on the screen, this document we've put on the screen, and circle anywhere where you see a problem. Okay, that happens. Now, the difference between the way Zoom does this and the way that other meeting platforms do it, other meeting platforms will stick the annotation to the content that's being shared. So if this were a PowerPoint and I go to the next slide, for example, the annotation would stick with the previous one where people annotated on that slide. That's not how Zoom does it. Zoom annotates to the screen. So if I change,
you scroll down, it's going to, that circle's going to stay.
It should, right, exactly. And so as a meeting host, before you go to the next piece of content, you have to quickly grab the trash can and clean it up so that by the time you get to the next slide, there's no graffiti all over it.
Okay, could you turn it on again? I like putting things in there.
Sure. Oh, here, let me show you what that looks like. Sorry. Okay, so this is the floating toolbar. Okay, it has more functionality than the toolbar that's stuck to the bottom of my meeting. And
oh, goody.
Okay, and you can even hide the names of annotations. So if we don't want to see that it was Lois that drew graffiti on the slide, you have that option too. All right, there you go, Lois.
I think this would be great for if you had a map, because then you could use that arrow thing, and on the map you could say, where do you live? Well, I live right
yes
there.
Yeah, I use that a lot.
And then if you scroll down now on this page, go ahead and scroll. I want to see that arrow doesn't move.
Okay.
See, it doesn't move. That's pretty
right. So, and then if I go to something else, okay, so the annotation, like you say, the annotation sticks to the screen, not to the content being displayed on the screen. Key difference between the way Zoom does it and the way that other webinar platforms do it.
Listen, have you come across a way of, without doing a print screen, of printing that?
What are we trying to print? The annotation?
The screen with the annotation. Or is it just a print screen?
Yes, I have done that in the past. It hasn't been recent. So let's jog some memory. Okay, so I will turn on annotation. I've annotations enabled for everyone. All right, draw some stuff on the screen.
I did.
And let me think, where was it?
By the way, when I make those stars, I see my name. If Robert were to make stars, would I see? Okay, now let me see if I put my cursor over his checkbox, it doesn't. No, I don't see who made it.
You only see it as it is being done. Okay, so, and it's considered a stamp, right? So here comes Robert's stamp, boom, on the screen. You see Robert's name. Robert picks up the stamp. He's going somewhere else on the screen. His name is not tied to the previous stamp. Now it's going to show up on the next stamp.
Oh,
unless I say hide names of annotators. All right.
You've got your bar up there, and I was trying to get to the eraser, and I kept clicking on it, and it wouldn't work.
Oh, and it was mine. Yeah. Okay, so I'll get mine off of here. There we go. That's what it is. So there's the answer to your question, Robert. Let me back up a step. Underneath the trash can icon is, I guess this is supposed to look like a download icon.
It says save, right?
And if you hover over it, it says save, and it gives you the option to save it as a PDF or as a picture file, PNG.
Okay, so there you go. So then it's on your computer.
And I'll turn it off, and then you can practice and make sure that it looks the same on your computer.
Cool.
I did it, and it's basically, it says it's a screenshot.
Yeah. That makes sense. But I don't have to do the fancy keystroke like you use on a Mac to get a screenshot.
Right. And if you save it as a PDF, now that it's a PDF, you can open it and edit it anywhere where you could do PDFs.
Thank you, Jason and Lois. I'd forgotten about this annotation function on Zoom and how, I wouldn't say powerful, but how much you can do with it.
Oh, I wish it wasn't as clunky as it was to get to. When I'm directing my attendees to use the tool, it's kind of clunky. Okay, but that aside, if I were to, so here, this is a PowerPoint slideshow, and I have a blank slide in there, right? So in the middle of my presentation, I might say something like, okay, folks, so based off of what you just heard, how does this make you feel? On your annotation toolbar, grab the pencil and draw a picture of how this makes you feel. Right? So this taps into a whole different part of your brain rather than the linguistic side of the brain that's processing. Now you're going over to the other hemisphere of the brain and using a different part of the brain to process data. So from a learning perspective, it's much richer. And if you don't use the pencil, you could say, okay, use the text tool and type words on the screen, and you could do that too. So that's how I use the annotation toolbar. I just throw a blank slide in the middle of my presentation somewhere and say, all right, folks, draw on it.
I think it's just nice that they've brought this extra menu out, because I remember previously it was hidden away just as a drop down under the annotate, under the three dots on the screen share when you're screen sharing it.
Yeah.
So this is nice.
And if you move it if it's right, going vertical, right in the middle of your screen, you can move it left and right. If you move it down to the bottom, it switches to horizontal.
It is a floating toolbar, so you're looking at mine, so I'll turn it on, and what Lois is saying is I can move it around the screen, and I'll dock mine up to the top.
And then we'll all try and click on erase on his
right, and then you're all going to try to click on my toolbar, but you can't. You're viewing it. So
but even if he turns his toolbar off, we can still use our toolbar.
Correct. Yep. So I'll close mine so that you could see yours. And when you move your toolbar, your pencil moves too, and your pencil does not necessarily land in the place that your toolbar last was. So you have to be on the lookout for that, because if you need to grab it quickly in a meeting, now you're like, okay, where did it go?
Actually, seriously, thank you, Jason. I'd completely forgotten that this annotation tool allows you to do so much.
But what it doesn't allow me to do is to reselect high and change the text. I have to erase it and put in a new text.
You might be able to move it though, because it's an object on the screen. And so if you click it like in one of the upper corner, lower corners, there's you can't see it, but there's an object box around the word high. And if you click it in just the right place, you should be able to move it.
I've even
wonder if I can.
Mouse, and I still can't do it.
Oh, how'd I do that? Oh, I know what I did. I clicked my PowerPoint and I went to the last slide, which is black because there's nothing there. So, all right, back to white. Ta-da! Isn't that fun? All right, welcome to Zoom Test Kitchen After Hours. We did a deep dive on the AI stuff today. That was really great. That's going to take some playing around.
Yeah. And this is wonderful. It's just going to be so much fun now that I know it exists.
Oh, Lois, can I bridge what we're doing now, this topic, with the previous topic that you had with how the heck can I use this AI thing? Can I bridge those two together?
Absolutely.
Okay, if I understand your meetings correctly, where you gather with your friends and in a circle and discuss and things like that, if you were to have the AI companion sit in the seat next to you, so to speak, right, and monitor everything in the meeting, concerns for prayer, the different topics that come up would be captured by AI and show up as major points in the meeting summary. If there were actions like Jason requested Lois to say a special prayer regarding whatever, that would show up in the meeting summary. You as the host could go into that meeting summary and now take those action items and turn it into a calendar so that there's a 30-day prayer calendar. Assuming you had 30 people in the meeting, everyone could be assigned a day, or you could assign a topic if someone had multiple requests for prayer. All right, we'll pray for your feet on Monday, and we'll pray for your hands on Friday, or whatever. So I could see that. Now, to an earlier point that we had is you have a trust factor that you have to overcome, a human trust factor.
So the reason I'm laughing so much is that it's a Quaker meeting. It's an hour's worth of silence.
Okay, so AI is going to capture nothing.
I was thinking of the committee meetings. We have an IT committee meeting every 2 weeks to take care of business.
Okay.
And so that's what I was thinking if it could be continuous. And I'm hearing you say that team chat is what I'm looking for rather than having a meeting open continuously.
You're on the right path, right? So to get the terminology correctly, you're setting up a recurring meeting. This is the weekly IT debrief meeting or whatever you call your team. Okay. As the host that sets up that recurring meeting, you're also assigning a persistent team chat. Persistent is the key word, meaning that it's available before, during, and after the meeting.
Okay.
Hence persistent. Any contributions that are made before, during, after the meeting are accessible before, during, after the meeting in this team chat. And when you have AI sitting in the seat next to you, taking transcription and different things like that, that could be dumped into the persistent chat.
Okay. That sounds good. We'll try it out. Our next IT committee meeting, I think, is a week and a half from now. So we'll try it out.
I'm just going to go back to annotation if I can for a second, Jason. I've just realized that menu bar with annotation is a bar that's actually sitting as a pop-up window. It isn't just part of that screen. You can pull it outside of that screen.
I can put it over on top of the participants list if I want to.
It's like a pop-up.
Put it outside Zoom altogether.
That's what I just did by mistake, and I was wondering how on earth did I do that? I didn't realize I could do that.
Yes, that's not something
cool.
I can. Right, if you've like right now, I've got multiple monitors on, so I can drag it from this monitor that I'm sharing onto any of the other monitors that are hooked up to this computer.
Only if you have,
which is nice. So if I want to annotate but not show you my annotation toolbar, then we can do that. So I'll just throw some stamps on here.
And the three dots will lock your dock. So it will stay in one place, and then you can unlock it and move it around. But once you move it around, if you go and say lock it, it doesn't lock it where it is. It puts it back right there.
It docks it, what, to where you last left it?
No, it docks it to the right-hand area of your shared window.
Okay, let's try that. So I'm going to move mine. I'll just put it right above the smiley face dude. and we'll 3-dot and we'll dock toolbar and it
And
through
you're
it here to
the
the
left.
side. And
Yeah.
now can I drag it?
And it'll snap back.
It snaps to the right, and do the same at the top and the bottom of the screen.
If I can grab it in the right place, there we go.
Uh,
I don't
it
know why
seems to
it
go
turns
to
it blue.
seems to go to the middle of the side bar.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
the middle of the top and bottom.
Yeah. North, south, east, and west.
So right
Cardinal
now, if you
points.
were to click those 3 dots, what would it say? Whoops, without putting it back to.
Oh, without putting it back to where you have
Yeah,
yours?
because mine doesn't allow me to move it like that.
Okay. Maybe
Mine
that's
was,
the difference between Windows and Mac.
I'm on a Mac, and it allows me on the Mac.
Okay.
and so if I say dock this, it oh, I'm wrong. It takes it to the closest of the 4 docking
Cardinal points.
So it's either
Yep.
the middle of the right, the middle of the left, the middle of the top, or the middle of the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. Cardinal points. And then whether you're docked or not is this tiny little check mark that's easy to miss.
Check mark where?
Yeah. So the 3 dots, can you see right now?
Yep.
I just turned dock
Oh,
toolbar
yes.
to blue.
It tells you if your docking is
There's
on.
there's a tiny little check box, a check mark next to it.
Who can see what you share? Everyone in the meeting can save the things you share here and share them with apps and others.
Yep.
That's cool. I better get out of here. I've got places to go and things to do. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for joining us, Lois.
Thanks for being here, everybody. Or
That was fun.
the remnants of the group, at least. Hey, we're still on YouTube, aren't we?
Yep, but I'll be shutting that down shortly.
How do you just shut down the Zoom meeting and that turns it off, or do you have to go and turn off YouTube first?
No, there's a separate button. I can choose and pick.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Lois. Robert, do I have a question for you?
I'm really tired, so I don't know if I'll be able to answer, but I'll give it a bash.
Okay. So, and hey, Roland, thanks for joining us. All right, folks on YouTube, thanks for joining us for Zoom Test Kitchen. We meet here every Friday. Thanks for staying after hours. Wish you all a great weekend.